You think ancient tombs are just quiet resting places, silent chambers of respect. You're wrong. For the architects of the ancient world, a tomb wasn't just a building project. It was a final statement. A declaration carved in stone that said, "What's inside is not for you. Turn back, or face a horror worse than death." These builders weren't just masons and engineers, they were psychologists of dread. And they built their fears into the very stones. Let's start with what you expect, the physical trap. The booby trap. The classic rolling boulder, the hidden pit. But the reality is more sinister and more clever. Take the pyramids of Egypt. Beyond the grand galleries, there are portcullis stones, massive granite blocks designed not to stop you at the door, but to seal you inside. They drop silently behind the thief, locking them in an airless, pitch-black sarcophagus chamber with the very mummy they came to rob. Death wouldn't come from a spear, but from slow, crushing panic. In ancient Chinese tombs of the Han Dynasty, archaeologists have found sand traps. Hollow walls filled with thousands of tons of fine sand. Break through the wrong brick, and you're not met with treasure, but with an inexorable flood that fills corridors in minutes, drowning and burying intruders alive. It's not a quick kill. It's an inescapable, geological punishment. But the true mastery wasn't in the body. It was in the mind. This is where they became true architects of fear. Many tombs, like those in the Valley of the Kings, are deliberate labyrinths. Dead-end corridors, stairs that lead nowhere, chambers that loop back on themselves. This wasn't poor planning. It was disorientation as a weapon. The goal was to exhaust you, to drain your light and your courage, to make you feel the weight of the mountain above you. Then they added the soundscape. In some Mycenaean though lost tombs in Greece, the massive, corbelled stone domes create eerie acoustic effects. A whisper from a priest hidden in a shaft could travel and seem to come from everywhere and nowhere. The voice of the tomb itself. In certain Mayan cave tombs, wind whistling through narrow tunnels was engineered to sound like human wailing. They weaponized the environment to attack your senses. And then came the masterstroke, the curse. This was the final, unbreachable layer of security. The most famous are the Egyptian curses of the pharaohs, but they were everywhere. In Anatolia, Hittite curses promised the thief that their name and seed would be extinguished from the earth. Roman tomb inscriptions threatened violators with public prosecution by the gods themselves. But these weren't just scary words, they were legal and spiritual contracts. By inscribing them, the builders transferred the crime from a simple theft to a cosmic offense. They made the intruder an enemy not just of man, but of the gods, the natural order, and their own ancestors. The curse turned fear inwards long after you left the tomb, it followed you. Every stroke of bad luck, every illness, every family death would be seen as the tomb's vengeance reaching through time. They engineered paranoia. So, what were they protecting? Gold? Jewels? Partly. But more importantly, they were protecting order. The sanctity of the afterlife, the peace of the ancestors, the contract between the living and the dead. The tomb was the final fortified border of that order. And its architects knew that to defend it, they had to weaponize every human weakness, claustrophobia, disorientation, fear of the dark, fear of the gods, and the deep-seated terror of a vengeance that could outlast your own lifetime. They built monuments not just to memory but to eternal warning. The curse of the mummy isn't just a movie trope. It's the echo of an ancient and terrifying design philosophy. Which of these ancient defenses terrifies you the most? The silent sand trap, the echoing maze, or the psychological poison of a curse? Let me know in the comments. If you're ready to step into another ancient nightmare, join me in the Necromantian, the Oracle of the Dead, right here. And subscribe so you don't miss our next descent into history's darkest corners. Until then, watch your step. From stones that crush to curses that haunt, the fear of the restless dead is ancient and universal. But what happened when people believed the dead had already returned? Next time, we exhume the truth behind ancient vampire burials, where skeletons were found staked, stoned, and maimed not by time, but by the terrified hands of the living. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss it.